Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Victor Boutte, a senior software engineer over at Wistia. And recently, I gave a talk at a local meetup here in Orlando, Florida, about adding determinism into agentic solutions with state machines. Now, it's no surprise that agents are still very new to the scene, and everybody's trying to figure out what best practices are. And folks are sharing different approaches with one another. So that's exactly what I decided to do whenever I gave the talk. And now what I'd like to do is compress some of the most important pieces of information into smaller segments that I can share with you all. So let's start with what an agent is. Very simple formula. LLM plus memory plus planning plus tools plus a while loop to be able to start over that process again until it's made a determination that it's finished the task at hand. How that's different from a workflow is one or more LLMs that are chained together and have a predetermined path of execution. It always does step 1, step 2, step 3, and that's it. It's complete. Whereas the agent has that ability to not only loop, but also reason about which path of execution to take. So I think of it as a higher level systems architecture that has access to a mixture of experts and the agency to determine its own path of execution. So if we look at the system itself, you can consider the agent to be the state machine. So in the example that I provided in the talk that I gave, I'm building an accountability agent to help me and my friends track our progress as we work out. And what we want to be able to do is just text this agent to say like, hey, I want you to go ahead and log this set. This is what I've done today. And I could do that from my phone. I could do that from the watch with voice to text. And the point is for it to be very minimal friction, but to have very advanced reasoning capabilities on the other side of that exchange so that it's smart enough to make a determination. Do I need to log this active workout, or is this person texting me about a previous workout that they did? Or are they just asking a very standard question about the system's capabilities? All these different things that it needs to account for. So whenever we look at this, we could say that the idle state is where nothing has happened yet. But when a user submits a question, that's whenever we engage with the state machine. And the first spot is this evaluation state, where it has access to 3 different experts underneath. But in the evaluation state, it has a predetermined path that it can go down. So it can fire off one of these 3 events, which will transition it to the next state, which is where the handoff to the next expert will be. So we could say that we were in idle, the user submitted a question, now we're inside of evaluating. And at this point, we could ask for clarification if the message that came in was a bit too vague and the system didn't understand exactly what they were asking. And at that point, we would go into this clarifying state. And at this state, there is no expert in the context of like whether or not it has an LLM underneath it. It's just waiting. It's in this waiting state of awaiting clarification back from the user. So when the user texts back, then we know that we can go back into evaluating, again, make a determination. Okay, well now the agent might decide that it does have enough information to start planning. That clarity was provided and it understands, okay, I need to log today's workout. So inside of the planning, that's where it makes a determination. Is there multiple steps to the plan that need to happen in order for the task to be complete? So for example, I might have messaged it all at once and said, here's all the different sets that I did. I also, went to the hot tub for 10 minutes. Oh, and by the way, I also ran 5 miles yesterday. So the agent should be capable enough to make a determination as to which different experts it needs to route that information to so that each of those tasks can be complete. So inside of planning, it may devise step 1, let's go ahead and log today's workout. Step 2, let's go ahead and do the backfill. And then you can consider this plan complete. So it's listed all that information, and back to our original formula, LLM plus memory plus planning plus tools plus while loop. So the LLM is the expert. That's where we have this abstraction over a different model. And the memory is being held in context of the state. So this is where the plan that we devise in the planning state will get pushed up into, so that when we traverse through the different states and we hand off tasks to different experts, it always knows what's the most updated snapshot of the plan outline. And in the tools, as part of that formula, are these different experts, these different specialties that it can route the task to. And then the while loop is just the essence of the state machine. So each of those experts can make a determination as to what event it should send to then transition to the next state, and again, hand off the task to the next expert. So we could say that first step, we needed to log this active workout for today. Then from there, it sends off one event that it has access to whenever it's complete, which says, hey, go back to evaluating. Then back into evaluation, it'll look back at the plan outline and make a determination. Am I done? No, actually, Victor texted me about the laps that he ran yesterday. So it goes back to planning, and planning says, oh yeah, in order to accomplish that step, you need to go to the backfilling expert. So then it sends off the event, the appropriate event, to engage into this backfilling workout entry state. And from there, again, whenever it's complete, it only has one event that it can send, which throws it back into evaluation. And over here, it might look at the plan outline and decide, oh yeah, there's no more work for me to do, we're complete. So it'll send the event to say it's complete, and now we're in this final state. And that's it. That's how we get through the different experts that it has access to, how the system itself can make determinations along the way to choose its own path of execution. But we're still adding back in determinism in the fact that we've given it guardrails and said these are the different spots that you can go to and how you can go to them. And what that allows us to do whenever we have the system like that spelled out like this, well, one, we can swap out the different models at the different experts. So we're not, handcuffed to one top level model to be able to do all these different capabilities. Instead, you might have a faster model at different experts where you want more advanced reasoning inside of your evaluation and planning states. You have the liberty to mix and match models in that way whenever you have a system like this. You can also write more strategic evaluations that you can pair with those different experts. You might write evaluations for one expert that says, well, I expect always this shape to come out of it. You might have another expert that you test in a different way where you say, well, I want the answer of this and these different scenarios to be similar by nature to the different ones that we expect a good answer to be. And in this way, you can start to see how these evaluations can become very powerful for self-learning in the system itself, right? So the system can start to have context of, oh, I've seen this scenario before. Should I route to option A or option B? Well, last time I tried option B and that turned out to not complete the task or what have you, so maybe I should choose option A. It becomes a really, really powerful abstraction, and I'm super excited to continue on learning about this and experimenting with it and sharing that progress with you. So hopefully this was helpful for you all. Feel free to subscribe to the channel and watch more content like this to come out soon. I'm excited to keep sharing the progress of building out this little accountability agent, and it gives me a great excuse to show off some of the fun stuff that I'm working on.